Hearts of Ice. Prologue. Deep within the king's stronghold, the body of an elderly man lays on a table dressed in black, with his eyes closed. The king himself stands at the table, still as a statue. His golden crown rests on top of his curly brown hair that flows down to his clean-shaven face. Eyes closed and head turned down. He's suited up in his polished armor and black cape with the king's blue sigil, as a sign of respect for the deceased. His tired blue eyes are fixed on the body, reliving the times the two had together. From behind a pillar, the king's advisor, Gabriella Rain, appears. The king doesn't turn his head. He just continues looking at his friend.
It's such a shame, isn't it, Gabriella? I don't think I will ever truly become comfortable with death. Just the unknown of it.
Oliver, I know a lot has been going on lately, but I need to know.
Yes. The criminals you've suggested are all good. I've already sent Young Grove out to find the two bounty hunters. Everything has been put into motion.
That's good to hear. How soon until we'll be ready to send them out?
Young Grove sent word that he should be back by nightfall. We'll be doing as you advised and starting the quest in the middle of the night.
So soon? Why am I only hearing about this now?
I am sorry for not informing you sooner.
The king looks at the body of his old friend with regret.
I've had other matters to be dealing with. There's a new keeper of records, Roland. He's good, young, and eager to learn.
Do you think it's wise to go for someone so young?
Yes, I do, Gabriella. He's full of energy and passion. He will do us proud. Anyway, back to your quest.
The king turns away from the table and looks at Gabriella for the first time. She's standing next to the banner, with her long chocolate hair flowing down to her elegant blue gown.
Knife will accompany the criminals to help the bounty hunters keep them in line.
Gabriella smiles uncontrollably, happy to be getting rid of Knife, and possibly her death.
I would also like you to go with them.
Gabriella's smile dissolves into a look of shock.
Me? Oliver, I am not a fighter. There is nothing I can contribute to this mission.
Your mind. That is what I need you to contribute. There will be some tough decisions, and both you and Knife will have to be the ones to make the call.
You can't send both me and Knife away. You need someone here. We've already had the orcs rebel. What if the rumors of Crown Rock turn out to be true?
I have Roland. He will be able to help if I need anything. Have you met him yet?
No, not yet. I've been
Yeah, meet him. I have a feeling you'll like him.
The king turns back to his deceased friend, leaving Gabriella to stare at his black cape. She has no choice but to leave. Outside the king's stronghold, a Kingsguard, known as Young Grove, is traveling through a marshy forest looking for two bounty hunters. Young Grove is dressed as a normal soldier, a tunic of the king's black and blue over chainmail, not wanting anyone to know he's a member of the Kingsguard. He stops at a massive boulder. His fingers start scratching his short, muddy blonde hair as he looks around in every direction.
I think you lost. I mean, why would you choose to be here on purpose?
Young Grove looks up to see a young woman with short blonde hair and grey eyes, sitting on a tree, wearing a sapphire blue hooded jacket.
I'm guessing you're Haley. What are you doing up in a tree?
Heard you coming from a mile off. How do you know my name? Also, good or bad?
Pardon?
Are you good or bad?
Always stay on the righteous path, chivalrous to the end. I know your name because I got told to look for two bounty hunters. Why are you in the tree?
Distraction.
From behind Young Grove, the massive boulder begins to crack apart, turning into a troll, who stands up, looking down on Young Grove, who is frozen in shock. The troll has two massive tusks protruding from his bottom jaw, his skin made of stone, and wearing rags around his hips.
And this here is Troll. If you were a bad person, he would have killed you by now.
I believe you are good. For now.
Haley jumps down from the tree into the marshy ground.
So, why have you been looking for us?
Young Grove regains himself and pulls a parchment from out of the pocket of his trousers, handing it over to Haley. Haley looks at the parchment, noticing the king's seal before opening it.
Dear Haley and companion. Huh, do you hear that, troll? You're my companion. We have need of ya, blah de blah de blah de blah. Help with criminals, blah de blah de blah. Frost Point, blah 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 de blah. Paid very handsomely. Now that's what we wanted to hear.
Haley, we must do this for good, not gold.
We need gold. Sign us up, whatever your name is.
People call me Young Grove.
What's so messed up with ya? You need to add a word before your own name?
My father was also called Grove. He was a hero who died to save the realm. Being called Young Grove is a sign of honor. Your friend, Troll here, doesn't care about gold. He cares about doing good. You only seem interested in the gold. Don't you feel bad?
I don't feel anything. Not anymore.
Back inside the king's stronghold, Gabriella is holding a candle to light her way as she descends down a spiral staircase towards the Room of Records. The Room of Records is where the Keeper of Records resides, making his notes on the happenings of the realm and writing it all down for use in the future. Gabriella goes inside the room where bookcases are lined along every wall. All the candles are extinguished, except for one on the table, where a figure is hunched over a book. The glow from this candle shows the figure having pure black hair.
Excuse me, my name is Gabriella Rain. I'm the king's advisor. Are you Roland?
The figure looks up and smiles as soon as he sees Gabriella.
Indeed.
Roland stands up and walks over to Gabriella with the candle in his hand. Roland is wearing a simple brown tunic with matching brown trousers. Now and again, a quick, brief flash of the light reveals he's wearing a light blue undershirt. The sound of his bare feet slapping the stone floor echoes around the room as he approaches.
I'm the new Keeper of Records. Sad times. But things must keep moving forward. Got to prepare for what lies ahead.
You talk about the future, but your role for the king is all about the past.
Oh, far from it. Yes, I am meant to record what has happened for the books to become history. However, I have a secret I'm willing to share if you would like to know.
I would indeed.
The best way of planning for the future is by knowing the past. History keeps repeating itself, you see.
Does it now?
Come and join me. I'll show you.
Roland walks back towards the table, pulling out a chair for Gabriella, who joins him. He gestures down at a page he was just reading.
Every now and again, a small band of orcs will sail from their Isles of Tamas, or Irona, and started attacking. They have always been too low in numbers to achieve anything, and it keeps happening over and over. Eventually, the orcs tried again, but this time with great numbers, and that became the Orc Rebellion. History told us that the orcs would keep attacking, but no one was listening.
Fine, that's one example.
The Ogre War?
What about it?
Everyone talks about it as if it was a single war, but there were two. It repeated itself. Now you've got your quest to deal with and an ogre that might cause some troubles.
Are you saying we might have another ogre war on our hands?
No. History is.
Gabriella looks down at the open book in front of Roland.
Books are wonderful. They're full of knowledge that has the power of changing our lives. So very few people understand that.
A smile breaks out on Gabriella's face.
The reason I came down here was because I was worried about me leaving the king. I feel more comfortable leaving knowing you'll be here.
Huh. Thank you.
Gabriella stands up from the table and leaves the room. Chapter 1. The Criminals. Deep in the lowest, darkest point of the king's stronghold are the dungeons. With a floor of dirt and cold, bricked walls, the cells are designed to be a place you don't want to return to. The walls have cracks, and rubble litters the floor, as if the whole place has been abandoned for years. The only light comes from a single candle by the door. Out of all the cells, only 6 are occupied. All the prisoners are asleep. One is chained up to the wall upside down by his arms and legs. Everyone else have their hands chained together except for one. She also has her feet chained together. The door to the dungeon's open and Knife enters the room with her long black hair flowing behind her. Wielding her torturing knife in her right hand, she never goes anywhere without it. She loves nothing more than torturing people, as if it gives her life meaning. She walks down the corridor, wearing a ripped red top and black trousers, holding a candle in her left hand, followed by the King's Guard.
Wakey, wakey. Judgment has arrived. Get to your feet.
What? What's going on? I was sleeping.
We were all sleeping. I was having the most wonderful dream. Oh, so many helpless women.
Huh. Mine had young Grove. I made his death last for hours. Him begging for death.
The prisoners slowly get to their feet, trying to rub the sleep out of their eyes. They're all barefoot and wearing the exact same clothes. Rags, so thin you can't keep warm, so hard and itchy you can't get comfortable. The girl with her feet chained tries to make her way towards the bars. She pushes her curly blonde hair out of her eyes to get a good look at Knife.
I can't go into the pit just yet. I need to speak to the king. He will understand what I had to do.
You're not going to the pit. You're all going to the king himself.
The law says we have to go to the pit. Why are we meeting the king?
He has need of you. We're taking you to the courtyard. It's the middle of the night, so keep your mouths shut. Otherwise, I'll make sure you won't make a sound.
Knife holds her torturing knife over the flame from her candle. The King's Guard opens the cells and starts leading the prisoners out of the dungeon. 2 King's Guard remove the prisoner chained to the wall and walk behind him, hands on the hilts of their swords. Knife's attention is drawn to a cell where one of the prisoners hasn't come out. Knife walks up to the cell and sees the drunk inside still sleeping. She walks around the remaining cells, pouring all the buckets full of piss and shit together before throwing it over the drunk's head.
The drunk has finally awoken. You missed the early release.
What early release?
Come now, Drake. Stop pissing around and move.
Knife drags Drake out of the cell, revealing a head of matted hair and a shaggy beard of dark brown. She forces him down the corridor and out the door, into the unknown. Outside, the prisoners walk into the center of the courtyard, where the king and Gabriella Rain wait in front of the fountain. The prisoners look around, seeing crossbowmen on the walls and towers, aiming at them.
Oh, what's this? An execution?
Of course not, Baron.
You know my name.
I know all of you.
Now, we have a quest for you. An ogre with important information was last seen going into the Frost Point. We need you 6 to go in, find the ogre, and get the information.
You trust us?
Me and Knife will be going with you.
Just you two?
And us.
From the main gate, young Grove, Haley, and Troll emerge from the shadows. The prisoners look at Troll in horror, except for the prisoner who was chained to the wall, who seems unfazed. Young Grove walks past the criminals, with his head up, not wanting to even look at them. He goes up to the king, getting down on one knee and bowing his head.
My king, I found the bounty hunters. Troll wished to enter the city only by the cover of night. May I go on the quest to help control the criminals?
If you wish.
This here, as most of you know, is young Grove. He's coming with us, as well as these 2 bounty hunters. If you turn against us or give us a reason to, we will kill you. We're the ones paying them, so don't think they'll turn against us. Come back alive and you'll get your freedom. Haley, Troll, meet the prisoners.
Haley and Troll look at the prisoners, silently judging them. Knife moves forward and starts introducing the prisoners to Haley and Troll.
First up is the drunk smelling of piss and shit, Drake. He even helped the king out on his noble quest. And now he's nothing but an unknown drunk completely forgotten to the realm. And next we have Baron. Rapist. How many has it been now?
The man known as Baron turns his overweight stomach and his plump red face towards Knife and smiles, revealing missing and rotting teeth.
You tend to lose track after a while.
Rapist of countless women. Leo's here as a thief. Got caught when he woke the family he was stealing from up in the middle of the night. You should try being more light on your feet.
Leos's figure appears to be similar to a stick. His eyes give Knife an evil glance underneath his straw-like hair. Knife moves over towards the prisoner who was chained to the wall. He remains silent, keeping his eyes fixed straight in front of him.
This thief managed to break into my own personal dungeon. Never spoke a word. Can you tell us your name?
The prisoner continues looking straight ahead in complete silence.
He's a mute. No tongue.
It would be wise to tell us your name, so we can address you properly.
Pilgrim.
I tortured you for hours and you didn't even scream. And now you finally decide to talk. Suit yourself. Next to Pilgrim is Eva. Has a skill with potions. Killed her husband for gold.
A petite woman, still in her youth, with pearly white skin, is fixed on young Grove. Her red eyes turn directly at the king as she caresses the end of her long, smooth ginger hair.
My king, if I do this mission, may I ask for another reward?
Which is?
Young Grove's death.
I'm the one who caught her. She wants to be the one to kill me.
Looks like I'll have to keep my eye on you.
You kill him on the quest, we'll kill you.
Worth it.
Knife moves towards the last criminal.
Finally, we have Fabana. Interestingly enough, she was also part of Drake's noble quest. You two recognize each other?
Yeah, I remember him.
No, not a clue.
I would like an extra reward.
Which is?
Any coins that have a crescent moon on them. I have a story to tell you.
That can wait until after the quest. We've got to get onto a ship. All your belongings are already on it. If you would like your freedom, follow me and Knife down towards the docks. Or you can go back to your cells and get sent straight to the pit.
Gabriella and Knife start walking down towards the docks. The prisoners all follow, wanting their freedom. Troll and young Grove follow the prisoners. As Haley follows them, she begins to whistle. Chapter 2. The Calm Before. The moonlight does little to pierce the fog that has surrounded the docks. This brings with it a fortuitous benefit for Gabriella. The fog will shield them from prying eyes. No one will be able to see them leave. The prisoners and guards climb onto the ship.
All your possessions have been brought on board for you. Now use the journey wisely.
Young Grove and the captain of the ship pull the walkway on board. The captain keeps his head down and scurries back to his cabin as if he doesn't want to be part of them. The ship begins moving forward and under the cover of the fog disappears into the night.
Do we have new clothes for the Frostlands?
Yeah. Gonna be cold, and these rags won't do us much good.
Everything you need will be inside your chests.
The prisoners make their way over to the chests to see what's inside, while the guards gather down one end of the ship. Drake collapses next to his chest without even opening it. and starts looking out at the fog.
Not looking inside, Drake?
Not yet. No real rush.
Drake pulls out a piece of string around his neck. On the string is a single coin with a crescent moon symbol. Fabana looks at the coin before turning to her chest. She opens it and starts looking inside. She pulls out a recurve bow made of pure white wood and holds it up for Drake to see.
Does that look familiar, Drake?
Drake glances at the bow before looking back at the fog.
No. Should it?
It belonged to Pictel. You remember him? The boy you killed.
I didn't kill him.
You shot the dynamite into the ceiling straight above him. The rubble crushed him. I wanted to leave you behind for that. I did the same to Grain.
He was already dead. The skeletons were shoving their swords in and out of him several times before then.
You couldn't have given him a quick, painless death.
Can't change the past.
Fabana turns away from Drake and continues looking through her chest. She pulls out her grey trousers, yellow tunic, boots, and a fur cloak.
I'm guessing we got these cloaks for the cold.
Yeah. Come on, love. Start getting out of those rags.
Fabana turns around to see Beren licking his lips as he looks straight at her with hunger in his piercing eyes.
Baron? I thought it was me you wanted to see.
Both, really.
Fuck off. I'm not changing anywhere near you.
No fun.
Why are they even sending us? They have an entire army.
They don't want to waste the army. They're sending us because no one will care if we die.
Not to mention if something goes wrong, the king can't be blamed. Nothing to do with him. A bunch of criminals were the ones to commit the crime.
I'm not a criminal.
You were caught breaking into the treasury. Whether you like it or not, you're a criminal, hon.
I was doing it for good. When have you ever done something greater than yourself?
Listen, none of this matters. Right now, it's us and them, and you're one of us. So how are we getting out of here?
You want to try and escape?
Look around. We're free. The only thing stopping us is them. We can take them.
They'll kill us. Easier if we just do the mission. Then we've got our freedom.
Will we? What makes you think that? When we're done, they'll just lock us back in a cell.
We might outnumber them, but they have a troll. Any idea how to kill him?
We've got an assassin. Pilgrim, you in?
They all turn to Pilgrim, who hasn't been paying attention. He has spent his time getting dressed in a mixture of black clothes and blacker armor. His face is completely hidden, except a small slit where his eyes shine through. He looks around his chest, unable to find something, before marching over to Knife.
My crystal. Where is it?
Why do you need it?
Magic. I am able to conjure magic to my will, but I need the crystal. You want my help? Fine. We'll have much better luck with magic, but I need my crystal.
Knife turns over towards Troll and Haley.
You two have a way of fighting magic.
We don't deal with magic. Double-sided sword.
Yeah, magic isn't worth it. You always pay more than what you get.
You heard them, Pilgrim. No magic.
Pilgrim makes his way back over to the prisoners.
Pilgrim, if we try taking them down, you in?
No, they have something I need.
I thought you were an assassin.
That's the short answer.
Beren turns over towards Gabriella.
Hey, hon. How are we gonna find the ogre? Are we really gonna search all Frost Point for him?
Lucky for us, Troll has an idea where it might be.
Trolls used to live in the Frost Point. We had homes. The ogre would need somewhere to stay.
So you're taking us home?
If the ogre has gone off to the troll's home, then why didn't you get them to do the mission?
They're all dead. Just me left.
How did they die?
In the war. With the Frostlings. They won. We lost.
You're really bringing the mood down, Troll. You have to keep things upbeat.
Do you just say whatever comes into your pretty little head?
Yeah, pretty much.
So when we find the ogre, any ideas on how we'll get information from him?
I'm sure Eva will have some potion to get the information.
I'll need my potion kit.
It's in your chest. You know, it might be worth using the journey to prepare.
How long will this ship take before we arrive?
A week, at most.
A week?
It takes time to travel across the realm. This is the fastest ship we have.
I'm sure there's lots of things we could do to pass the time. We could have a swim.
Young Grove, would you like me to make something for you to drink?
Eva strolls over to her chest, pulling out her potions kit, and begins brewing.
You really think it's a good idea to let her make potions?
It's her skill. Be stupid not to let her use it.
If anyone sees her around the food or drink, kill her.
What's your problem with us, young Grove?
You look down on us as if we're scum.
Criminals. You are scum. No honor among any of you.
We're going on a quest for the king. That's honorable.
You're being forced to do this. That's not exactly the same.
Drake and I did a quest for the king before.
Yeah, once. Now look where you two have ended up. Criminals.
Oh, let me guess. You're scared you'll end up like us.
Never. Chivalrous to the end. It's in my blood. My father Grove was a man of honor. He even sacrificed himself to save the realm. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had the Shadow Warrior. He saw potential in the man and took him on a quest to kill Kraith. My father saved the realm.
I was there during the Ogre War. Your father didn't see potential. He only brought the Shadow Warrior along to make sure he died.
That's a lie, you piece of filth.
No, it's not, young Grove. He hated the Shadow Warrior, did everything he could to make sure he died. That was the real reason he brought him on the quest.
Your father was a cruel man. Nice enough to his friends, but he made enemies and he wanted them to pay.
He died in battle saving the realm, so he's remembered as a hero.
So if we die on this quest to save the realm, will we be remembered as heroes?
No, your bodies will be left behind, and you'll definitely be forgotten.
Charming, hun.
The criminals walk back over to their side of the ship, except for Leos.
So how does it feel, young Grove, to be named after a piece of filth just like us?
Leos goes and joins the rest of the criminals, leaving young Grove to reflect on this new information. The criminals and guards spend as much time as they can apart. Over the next week, as they get further into the Frost Point, one by one they start wearing their fur cloaks, until the only ones without are Haley, Troll, and Pilgrim. The ship arrives at their destination. The guards and criminals disembark and start making their way through the snowy wasteland. Chapter 3. The Storm. From underneath the snow-covered trees, the criminals and guards trudge through the snow. A storm of snow and ice has picked up, sinking the cold into their bones. The storm makes the horizon become a single blur of white, as if they were stuck inside a snow globe. Everyone except Pilgrim, Troll, and Haley are wrapped up tight in their fur cloaks. Every breath they take can be seen in the air. Pilgrim continues wearing his black clothes and armor. Haley is completely unaffected by the storm in her sapphire blue hooded jacket. Troll still wears his rags around his hips, the cold unable to penetrate his rock skin.
How are you three not cold?
Trouble with flesh.
Yeah. You I can understand, but what about you two? You still have flesh.
I just don't feel the cold.
As Haley speaks, not a single breath can be seen on the wind.
Aren't you scared of catching your death?
Been caught.
Don't waste your breath talking to her, hun. Let her catch her death.
Pilgrim, you'll want a cloak.
Pilgrim keeps on moving, without saying anything.
He's an assassin, remember? Probably trained not to feel any pain. Must be nice.
Anybody hear that?
Everyone stops and looks towards Leos.
You're imagining things.
What if I'm not?
He's right. Worth checking out.
Really. Just take a second to look around us.
Everyone looks around to see nothing. Just snow-covered trees next to them, followed by the storm.
See, if there was anything, we would see it.
We cannot see beyond the storm. We don't know what's lurking out there.
We can't see beyond the storm, so if there is anything out there, then they can't see us.
You're not looking in the right direction.
The group's attention turns to Haley, who is looking up into the trees. They follow her gaze to see a swarm of ice spiders making their way down from their nests in the top of the trees. Ice spiders are just like normal spiders, except are blue, with eyes that look like shards of ice, and they're giant, bigger than a person.
Form a circle.
What?
A circle. To hold our ground.
We're not warriors. We don't know tactics.
Then get your weapons out and ready to fight.
Young Grove pulls out his father's sword from his scabbard. Knife already has her twin daggers drawn. Gabriella looks up in horror.
What are these creatures?
Troll looks over to see the fear in Gabriella's face.
Ice spiders, stay by my side.
Haley already has her mini crossbow out and starts firing bolts at the ice spiders. Fabana and Pilgrim grab their bows and join in with Haley, shooting them down.
You should wait till they're closer.
Why? Start before they reach us.
These are really simple tactics.
Like Leo said, we don't know tactics. We're criminals.
And bounty hunters.
Haley, aim for eyes.
Gotcha, Troll.
Lastly, Eva has a blowpipe out for her poison darts. Beren, Leos, and Drake have swords. Both Beren and Leos looking as though they've never held one before.
Keep it simple. Kill them before they kill you.
Within a heartbeat, the ice spiders drop to the ground, surrounding the group. A few ice spiders have arrows and bolts in their bodies, but appear undamaged.
Face me, you demons.
Young Grove is the first to start attacking a spider, hacking away. Fabana grabs Haley's shoulder to get her attention.
Climb a tree. Easier to aim.
Both Haley and Fabana start climbing separate trees to help them get a clearer view. Pilgrim remains on the ground, using his bow and arrows. Every time an ice spider attacks him, he twists out of the way and continues shooting as if he's dancing with his enemy. Drake leads Beren and Leos towards a single ice spider.
Stay together and watch your back.
Together, the three of them are able to start hacking and slashing one after another. Knife remains in the center, waiting for a spider to enter range before stabbing its eyes with her twin daggers. As the spider retreats, unable to see, Knife starts to have her fun, slowly circling the spider, removing its legs one by one. Troll remains in front of Gabriella, protecting her, using his hands to rip and crush any spiders that come near. Eva is on the edge of the battleground, shooting poison darts in every direction. Young Grove begins to take on two spiders at once, twisting and turning, defending against their attacks while striking his own. He manages to kill one, but is jumped by the other. He's on the floor, holding his sword out with both hands, one on the hilt, one on the blade. The creature pushes down, trying to sink its fangs into Young Grove's arm. As the spider gets closer and closer, Haley jumps out of the tree onto the ice spider's back.
Let's have some fun.
The ice spider climbs off Young Grove, trying to attack Haley, but she pushes two bulbs into the creature's back, helping her to hold on. Troll looks over to see Haley riding an ice spider.
Haley!
Troll runs over to Haley's aid, leaving Gabriella to fend for herself.
Hey, what about me? I can't fight!
Drake looks over to see Gabriella unguarded and runs towards her. She turns to see Drake charging towards her with his sword drawn.
Please, I beg you.
Gabriella instinctively raises her arms as a shield as Drake nears, but he tackles her to the ground, causing the ice spider to miss its attack. Drake stands up with his back to Gabriella.
Leos, Beren, we need her alive. Here, take this.
Drake gives Gabriella his bone dagger. Leos and Beren come running over with their swords drawn, and the three of them form a protective circle around Gabriella, who is still on the floor. Troll reaches the ice spider Haley is currently riding and begins to rip it apart, trying to rescue her. Troll places his stone hands on either side of the ice spider's head and crushes it to a pulp. As the headless corpse falls to the ground, Haley falls with it, but Troll catches her in his arms.
Don't do that.
What? You know I like to have fun.
Your wounds don't heal. Be careful. You could die.
So what if I do? It's only death.
Haley and Troll walk back to the group, who have managed to kill the last of the ice spiders. Drake helps Gabriella back to her feet.
Thank you. I thought you were going to kill me.
Why would I do that? I've got no reason to.
Gabriella gives Drake his bone dagger back. Unable to say thank you, Drake nods his head to Gabriella and walks away.
Everyone gather up.
The group move around Young Grove, except Haley, who starts searching the surrounding area.
Criminals, that was your first taste of fighting. Now you have a much better idea of what warriors with honor have to go through.
Piss off!
Yeah, we saved Gabriella's life.
They did, Young Grove.
Troll, I thought you were protecting her. You left her in the hands of criminals to die.
Haley needed me.
We're the ones paying you two. You two should protect us.
She's the only family I have left. I cannot fail her again.
Over here.
Everyone turns their attention to Haley, who is standing over a fallen figure.
Looks like somebody didn't make it.
The guards and criminals make their way over to see Eva lying next to the corpse of an ice spider with her eyes wide open.
Don't get too near. She's probably faking, waiting for one of us to check so she can kill us.
What is wrong with you? A person just died.
A criminal?
Still a person.
Her eyes are wide open and she hasn't blinked. She's dead.
Look at her mouth. She's not breathing.
I've seen people trying to fake their death. She's not one of them.
Any idea how she went?
Poison.
How do you know?
So she killed herself.
The ice spiders have poison in their fangs. A direct wound kills you.
Truth.
I guess it's how she would have wanted to go.
Death will be pleased with this soul.
Are you being serious right now?
Death is a glorious thing. Trust me. None of you know it like I do.
We've lost people too. Loved ones.
Yeah, in the real world, people die. No happy endings.
I've killed countless people. I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what death is.
I obey death's commands.
So it's true. You do work for the altar of death.
It is true. Which means none of you have a better understanding of death than I do.
I died once.
Everyone except Troll turns towards Haley with suspicious eyes, collectively believing that she is crazy. Haley notices that they don't believe her.
It's true. Died, then I got brought back. See?
Haley lifts up her shirt to show them unhealed claw marks all over her body.
Nice body.
My wounds no longer heal. Good thing they didn't attack my face.
You're all kinds of crazy, aren't you?
Haley's cold, dead eyes stare back at Leos.
You've come back from the dead. What was it like?
I wouldn't recommend it. Make sure you stay dead.
Did you meet death?
Is there an afterlife?
Yeah. What happens to the dead?
Whatever I tell you will mess you up for life. It's something no one should learn the truth to until their time comes.
We don't have time for this. We need to keep moving.
What about Eva? We can't just leave her.
The snow will bury her.
Can I have 5 minutes with Eva? I want to say goodbye.
You really are sick.
Hey, why let it go to waste?
Move. Now.
What about her poisons?
Leave them. We don't know which ones are which.
One by one, they start following Young Grove, continuing on with the quest. Chapter 4. The Graveyard. Our group of heroes and rogues continue to trek through the snowy landscape of the Frost Point. They've left the forest and have made it to a barren landscape of snow. Young Grove and Haley lead, followed by the surviving criminals and Knife. Gabriella and Troll guard the rear. The group trudge in silence until Young Grove begins to stumble and collapse in the snow.
Young Grove, what's wrong?
Everyone comes to a halt. Haley bends down and pulls up his right sleeve to reveal a blackened puncture wound with ice blue lines trailing over his right arm.
He's infected. Looks like a fang from one of those ice spiders. Should I give him a quick death?
Suddenly, Pilgrim sprints towards young Grove. He grabs his crystal from Knife's neck, causing the string to snap.
Kill him!
Pilgrim continues sprinting towards young Grove. Haley watches Pilgrim approach and remains motionless. When the assassin arrives, he collapses to the ground, bending over young Grove. Meanwhile, Knife starts running up to catch the criminal. Knife is just behind Pilgrim, with a torturing dagger drawn, when all of a sudden... Young Grove sits up, looking around him in confusion, before looking at his wound, to see the ice blue lines retreating and the puncture sealing itself up. And just like that, his arm is back to normal, unable to tell it was injured.
All healed for you.
Haley, why didn't you kill him like I said? He could have killed young Grove.
Why would you risk your life trying to kill a dying man? Turns out he wasn't.
I've proven myself to you. May I keep my crystal?
Might as well let him have it. He's already saved one of our lives.
The rest of the group walks up to see what happened.
Keep it. For now.
Haley looks down at young Grove, who is still lying in the snow.
Are you confused at what's going on? He saved your life.
A flicker appears in young Grove's eyes, resenting the fact that he was saved by a villain. Young Grove picks himself up from the ground and starts marching off.
Let's just keep moving.
The criminals look at each other before following. Eventually, they arrive at the top of a hill, looking down at a flat, snowy ground with different-sized boulders scattered everywhere.
Why all of a sudden are there so many boulders here? What is this place?
It's a graveyard. Almost there.
Troll starts walking, and the others follow.
What do you mean, graveyard?
The boulders are the remains of trolls. This is where the war between trolls and frostlings took place.
So this is where it happened. Were you here fighting?
Yes.
So how did you survive?
I ran.
You're a coward.
I ran because my daughter was calling me.
Calling you? Oh, so you actually have a name. What is it? You can tell us.
His name's Troll.
By the time I reached her, frostlings had burnt her alive. The war was lost. So I ran.
I'm sorry you lost her, Troll.
So what? That's life. People die. It's what happens.
Surely there's some humanity inside you.
Nope. Not a single drop. What's that fire over there?
A beacon fire blazes into life on a hilltop to the right of the group.
Frostlings know we're here. Run!
Troll starts running, and everyone follows. As they're running, flaming arrows start randomly raining down from the sky, narrowly missing them.
Troll, how do we kill them?
Too many. Keep running. Troll home and mountain are bad.
Everyone looks in front of them to see the outline of a mountain blurred by the snow. As they're trying to make out the path ahead, a flaming arrow comes flying through the air, about to penetrate Haley's skull, when Troll's right hand blocks its path. Troll starts looking at his right hand as he tries to put out the fire. Fibana and Gabriella stop running and turn to look at Troll. Another flaming arrow goes straight for Gabriella, before Troll's left hand blocks it. Troll looks at the flaming arrows in his hands and at the rock beginning to crack around their shafts. They look up to see more flaming arrows in the sky, ready to rain down upon them.
Go. I'll protect you.
Both Fibana and Gabriella turn around and continue running instinctively without saying a word. Troll follows behind them, knowing his time is up, and this is the end. He blocks every flaming arrow that's about to hit someone. Slowly, as more fire starts consuming Troll, he begins to crumble. His whole body turns into boulders collapsing into the snow, unrecognizable from the other boulders. As everyone reaches a small dip in the ground, they jump in and turn around, but Troll is nowhere to be seen.
Where did he go?
He was just behind us.
He's probably dead. Crumbled into boulders just like the rest of the trolls.
What is wrong with you? He loved you like a daughter. Aren't you sad?
Nope, nothing. We gotta keep moving before the frostlings catch up.
Haley stands up and starts making her way towards the mountain to end their quest. Chapter 5. Onwards. Leos looks around the group in confusion and runs past Haley, stopping her dead in her tracks.
Let's just stop for a moment. What's the actual plan here? How are we going to get the information from the ogre without Eva and her potion, whatever it was? How are we going to find the troll homes without Troll? And what if the ogre's not even there?
I'll get the information off the ogre. I have years of experience.
On people. Ever tortured an ogre?
Troll told us where to go before he died.
Why are we traveling with her? She's a new level of crazy.
We may as well try rather than just giving up.
Leos, let us just try.
No, this is a hopeless cause. If we keep going, we're all gonna die here.
Leos stamps his right leg down onto the ground, trying to make a dramatic impact. Cracks begin to appear around his foot. Leos looks down, just in time to see the floor beneath his feet break open into a cavern.
Ah!
Everyone else is fixed on where Leos was just standing. Drake looks behind to see figures holding torches running towards them. Drake, seeing death firsthand, has started making him fear dying. He starts to think of a plan to survive.
I've got rope. The frost, whatever, is almost here. We tie it to a tree and go down to hide from them.
They'll see the rope going down the hole. You drunk?
We'll cover it with snow. Keep running and they're just gonna follow our footprints. You guys go down first. Me and Fabana will lead footprints into the forest and double back.
You and Haley, you need a guard.
Fine, whatever you say.
Drake throws the rope over to Knife, and everyone starts following out Drake's plan. Drake and Haley are the last ones to descend into the cavern after leading Trax away. As they descend, they discover Berin and Gabriella holding torches around Leos, who is impaled on a large, single icicle sticking out of the ground.
Pilgrim, heal me. You saved young Grove.
A flicker appears in young Grove's eyes upon hearing those words, being reminded that Pilgrim saved him. As Leos speaks, blood spits out of his mouth and onto his fur cloak.
You would require too much magic. It would kill me.
You're not willing to die for me?
No, my life is worth more.
I will fucking kill you from beyond the grave, Pilgrim. I will walk to the ends of the realm, too.
A bolt appears in Leos's head. Everyone turns around to see Haley standing there, casually reloading her mini crossbow.
What? Got bored of listening to him. Come on, we all know what he was trying to say. So where are we?
Berin and Gabriella move the torches around the cavern. Several caves lead off from the main chamber, each with a weird symbol above their entrance.
I don't believe this.
What? Do you know where we are?
I know these symbols. We're in the Caves of Penance. It's supposed to be a myth.
I think you're talking bullocks, you drunk. Saying you know the symbols, trying to make yourself useful.
No, he's not. I know these symbols well.
I've never read anything about the Caves of Penance. How does the story go?
Go on, Drake. Make yourself useful.
We have to face ourselves. Our worst fear, worst regrets. Survive that and you get to, survive.
Great. We're here with a bunch of criminals. Probably best if we climb back up the rope now.
We can't do that. We can't escape the cave until we've had our penance. According to the story, if we avoid our penance, the cave will kill you.
Is that what happened to Leos?
A single icicle sticking out of the ground. I'm guessing so.
So, how do we get out of here?
We go into a cave, and we accept our penance.
Drake breaks away from the group. and starts walking into one of the caves, his head held high, accepting his fate.
This is going to be easy. I'm a man of honor.
One by one, the guards and the criminals start making their way over to an empty cave. Chapter 6. Penance. As Haley steps into the cave, black smoke starts to surround her, consuming her environment. As she turns around, she sees Troll standing there looking at her, his eyes filled with pain.
So, you're my penance?
I died for you. I am the last of my kind. Extinct now. I loved you like a daughter. And yet, you didn't even shed a tear.
Sorry, Troll. You know I don't feel anything anymore. Sorry that you're dead.
Haley turns around and starts to leave.
Haley! Haley!
Haley goes through the smoke, returning back to the cavern. Within Gabriella's smoke, she comes face to face with the king. He stands there, wearing his royal armor and his black cape bearing the blue sigil of the king. The king opens his eyes. His tired blue eyes have been replaced by bloodshot eyes, piercing Gabriella to the core.
You failed me, Gabriella.
Have I?
Yes, I trusted in your advice, even against my own judgment. The realm is dead because of this.
Hold on, has this actually happened, or is... I get it. My greatest fear. Failing the king.
You swore to me it was good advice. I trusted you.
I haven't failed you yet. I know you're not the king, but I will do right by the real king. I will give this quest everything I have.
The smoke around Gabriella disappears, allowing her to exit from her cave back into the cavern with a new sense of courage. Knife stands in the center of the smoke, completely calm, ready to take on her penance. From out of the smoke, a figure appears, wearing a long black robe.
Who are you?
Was it worth it, Knife?
What are you talking about?
All those people you killed. Tortured. Just so you could stop fearing me.
The figure's right hand comes out of its robe, except it's just the bone. The skeleton hand pulls back the hood to reveal a skull underneath.
Do you fear death?
Knife remains completely frozen on the spot.
Do you fear death?
Yes.
All those lives you took, trying to conquer me. And here you stand, still afraid.
Knife closes her eyes and forces her hands on her ears, trying to block everything out.
You will never be the master of me.
Young Grove looks around his black smoke, waiting.
I've got nothing to be afraid of, or to question.
From out of the smoke, a man in his late 40s appears, looking directly at young Grove. He's wearing the armor of the King's Guard, white armor, with a black cape and the King's blue sigil. His face fixed on an expression of disappointment.
Father?
Unfortunately, my son. Working with criminals? Have you no honor?
Yes, I do. I came along to help protect Knife and Gabriella. I came to help the king, not the criminals.
You're working with them? Brothers in arms?
Never. I will remain chivalrous and remain a man of honor till the end.
You seem conflicted.
I've heard stories about you.
Stories? And you believe stories? What about the ones I told you as a child? The Dead Knight? You believe in that as well?
No. I swear to you, I will do the right thing, even if it kills me.
The black smoke fades away, leaving young Grove alone.
I must stay on the righteous path.
Pilgrim remains completely still as if he was made of stone. From out of the smoke, Udos, the leader of the Altar of Death, appears. He's wearing a black cloak around his body. With the hood down, you can see a bushy ginger beard. Long hair to match his beard, but the sides of his head are shaved.
You failed me.
Pilgrim remains silent, giving no reply.
I gave you a task directly from the altar and you failed to complete it. This has never happened before. Do you know what you have done?
You are not Odos. I am still following out my task. Say what you wish. I have complete faith in Odos and the altar.
Odos studies Pilgrim for a moment before disappearing with the smoke. In front of Habana, a man is on his knees, trying to hold his guts in his bloody hands. His belly has been sliced open, and his blood dripping on the floor.
You killed me. Why would you do this?
I didn't know about the curse, I swear. But you are right, I killed you. Your blood is on my hands.
My family, my children. How are they going to survive without me?
Fabana gets down to his level and places her forehead against his.
I sold my home in Oasis, gave them the money. Your family will be fine. I am doing everything in my power to save innocent lives. I started this curse. I have to finish it.
The man and the black smoke disappears, leaving Fabana kneeling down with her forehead pressed against thin air. Beren is standing among the smoke, looking down at an elderly woman who has seen better days.
I knew I should have left you in the woods. I never wanted you. I never loved you.
Mother, I know all of this. I learned it from the abuse you gave me. I wanted your death to last, but it didn't. I never got a chance to tell you. Thank you. If it wasn't for you, I would never be the man I am today. Unlike most people, I accept who I am. I like who I am. Everything I do is to feel powerful. Thank you, Mother.
Beren turns around and walks straight out of the black smoke, leaving his mother behind, finally getting to say goodbye. Lastly, Drake stands among his black smoke, waiting, knowing what's to come.
Why are you taking so long? We both know what's going to happen.
In front of Drake, Kriya appears, holding a baby in her arms. She looks at Drake and doesn't need to say a word. Her purple eyes say everything.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I never should have left. I was stubborn. I thought I was doing what was right. I tried to save you. But instead, I lost our final moments together. I should have gone inside with you, and we could have spent whatever time we had left together. But what the fuck am I meant to do now? I've got nothing to keep going on for.
Is that why you drink?
It helps numb the pain.
If you don't want to keep going, then why didn't you kill yourself?
I'm too scared. Coward.
If you're not willing to die, then you must keep going. You need a purpose, something to do. I'll give you some advice on how to make life easier. You either do it, or you die.
Our child. Is it a boy or a girl?
You don't get to know.
The black smoke vanishes along with Kriya and the baby, leaving Drake behind. Drake is the last one to emerge from a cave.
It seems steps have appeared in the side of the cave.
Guess you only get them after the penance.
Drake goes over to join the rest of the group. Fabana notices Drake's red eyes and the tears on his cheeks.
Drake, what happened?
Drake ignores Fabana and looks young Grove directly in the eye.
You've made it clear you don't like us, or even want us here. I know you believe that good and evil are very far apart, but that's not the real world. We're the ones doing this quest. If you don't like it, then return back to the king. The rest of you, follow me.
Drake takes the torch off young Grove and starts leading the way out of the cave. Haley is the first one to follow. Beren, Fabana, Pilgrim, and Gabriella join without looking back. Knife, not wanting to be left behind, also makes her way up the stairs. Not wanting to fail a quest, young Grove, torchless, has no choice but to follow. Chapter 7. Yorug. The storm has subsided, for now. Snow still blows with the wind, but with a clearer view. With no signs of the Frostlings' fires, the group was able to continue on their journey. They arrive at the base of the mountain. Drake looks up to see the mountain blend into the cold white sky. Several massive entrances can be seen going deep into the heart of the mountain. One of the entrances has a glowing from a fire, signaling life.
Those must be the homes of the trolls.
The one with the fire must have the ogre. We're finally here. What's the plan, Drake?
How are we going to fight that thing?
We're not. We're going to go inside and talk to it.
You cannot be serious.
How will attacking it get answers? We'll be better off talking to it. We go inside, no weapons in our hands. Gabriella, best if you do the talking.
Why me?
You're the king's advisor. You know how to negotiate. Besides, you're the nicest one here. Pilgrim, have your magic ready if this turns south. Everyone else, don't make the first move, no matter what.
The group starts walking into the tunnel with the glow from the fire. The tunnel is 8 feet high, huge for them, but small for the trolls. The further they get inside, the less snow appears on the ground and slowly begins to turn to gravel. The end of the tunnel opens up to a large room, with other rooms and tunnels leading off into the unknown. In the center of the room is the ogre, with its back to the group, sitting in front of a large fire underneath a hole that the smoke goes into. The ogre turns around to see them, with grey, white flesh, misshapen teeth, thick, splintery nails, and rags of leather over its bulging muscles. The ogre doesn't move. Its deformed face with different size eyes stare at the group, waiting.
We don't want to harm you. We need information. You understand the common tongue?
Yes.
Do you have a name?
Yorug.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Yorug. Not long ago, a man was sent out to find you. Was called the Shadow Warrior.
I know him. Good man, Shadow. Have you come with answer?
What answer?
Shadow was meant to get answer from King. Then meet me here.
He died. We came back to get the information. What was he meant to tell us?
How did Shadow die?
We thought he was the enemy and killed him.
You did what?
I know it's not what you would want to hear, but it's the truth. Best to start on honest terms. The man's name wasn't Shadow, it was the Shadow Warrior.
I call him Shadow. We were trying to prevent another war.
Another ogre war?
Yes. Ogres need more land. Reason we attacked both times before. We need more land. If we don't, we will die. We're willing to fight for more. Me and Shadow were trying to avoid another war.
What was your plan?
The Frost Point. Your kind cannot live here. Ogres can. We claim Frost Point for our own. Increase ogre land and prevent war.
That's what this was all about. Preventing a war.
Yes.
Gabriella turns around to Knife.
What do you think?
Chapter 8. Conflict. Knife looks towards Gabriella, looking straight into her brown eyes.
I think we need to inform the king.
Gabriella turns back to Yorug, her face unsure.
I know the king wants to prevent war. Ogres may have the Frost Point in exchange for peace.
You cannot be serious.
Shut up. Gabrielle is the king's advisor. She's the only one here with the right to make that deal.
Humans and ogres will never have peace. Too much hatred on both sides. Best if you stay out of our land, and us out of yours.
That's probably for the best. Go back and tell the ogres, we'll tell the king.
Yorug makes her way over towards the exit and departs into the snow. Seeing that the conflict is resolved, Pilgrim slips out through the tunnel, completely unnoticed. Young Grove splits from the group, who are between him and the exit.
There better be some secret plot here.
There is no plot. We did what we had to do to prevent a third ogre war.
Ogres are pure evil. We should have gone to war and done the right thing, killing as many as we can.
Do you really think that's the right thing?
It's the righteous path. Good against evil. Now out of my way.
Young Grove tries to make his way towards the exit, but Drake and Berin pull out their swords.
Do you really think you have enough skill to defeat me? I will kill you.
How many can you kill before we kill you? I'm happy to give my life if it means you don't start another war.
Can't we just talk about this?
The time for talking is over. Face me, demons.
Young Grove arms himself with his father's blade and takes a step towards Drake and Berin. Before grabbing his sword, Drake pulls out his bone knife, throwing it towards Young Grove, who blocks the attack. Haley pulls out her mini crossbow, but before she can fire a single bolt, Young Grove ducks and rolls, avoiding Drake's sword. As he does this, he throws a handful of dirt into Haley's face, before picking up Drake's bone dagger. Knife tries to attack Young Grove with her twin daggers, but before she can get near, he brandishes his weapon, pointing the sword tip to her throat.
Don't try it.
Young Grove swings his sword towards Drake. Both their swords collide in a shower of sparks, and the two are forced against each other. Faces inches apart, their mutual hatred seething out.
How much strength does a drunk have? No match for a member of the King's Guard.
Berin tries to ambush Young Grove as he's engaged in combat with Drake. Young Grove pushes Drake down to the floor and hits Berin over the head with the hilt of his sword. With no one left to fight, Young Grove makes his way towards the exit.
Me sparing the lives of criminals is a sign of honor. Chivalrous to the end.
Haley, finally wiping the last of the dirt from her eyes, shoots a bolt at Young Grove, managing to hit his thigh.
That won't stop me.
Young Grove begins running out of the tunnel and back into the snowy wasteland. Drake jumps onto his feet and goes after Young Grove.
I got him, don't worry.
Where's Pilgrim?
The group finally realize that one of their party is gone.
Last I saw him was when we all came into the tunnel.
Never mind about him. What do we do now?
We've got to prevent another ogre war. Let's go.
Chapter 9. Cold as Ice. The wind has picked up like a wild beast, blowing snow in every direction. Drake looks around to see Young Grove wrapped up tight in his fur cloak, trudging after the ogre's footprints before they disappear. As Drake charges with his sword drawn, Young Grove turns around, throwing Drake's bone dagger. The dagger flies through the air and hits Drake squarely in the chest. Drake looks down at his dagger before loosening his grip around his sword and dropping to the snow.
I said you weren't as skilled as me.
Young Grove walks over to Drake's body and climbs over him, bringing them face to face.
I want you to know you failed.
Young Grove gets up and continues on his personal quest. Drake lies in the snow, looking up towards the sky. Hot blood spills out of his mouth as he tries to breathe the cold frost air. Drake, using his right hand, manages to grab hold of his crescent moon coin from around his neck. Drake closes his eyes and embraces the cold, freeing himself from the pain that's haunted him for so long. The remaining survivors exit the tunnel and follow the trail left by Young Grove's blood towards Drake's body. They look around in all directions for Young Grove, unable to see anything in the snowstorm.
The blood is getting thinner. Soon the fresh snow will cover it.
I say we leave him.
He's going to start a war.
No, he won't. Yorug's massive. Covers more ground than he will. With his wounds, he'll never make it. I say we leave him to have his hero's death.
She's got a point.
So the quest is over. I've earned my freedom.
Almost. First, we go back to the king and tell him everything. Let's make our way back to the ship.
They turn to see Fabana, knees deep in the fresh snow over Drake's corpse.
Fabana, are you ready to leave? We can take his body with us.
Fabana gets to her feet, tucking the crescent moon coin into her pocket.
No, he was an adventurer. He would have wanted to be left in an uncharted land.
Fabana picks up Drake's sword and drives the point into the ground above his head, creating a makeshift tombstone. The survivors start to make their way back to the ship. The snow continues falling onto young Grove as he treks through the ever-rising drifts. His breath freezing as it exits his lips. The surrounding snowy landscape begins to play tricks on his mind. He turns around in every direction, trying to see which way Yorug went. Suddenly, a dart hits young Grove straight in his neck. He pulls it out and looks at the dart in confusion.
What the...
Young Grove's legs buckle and he collapses to the ground. He looks up to see Eva limping towards him, half her face covered in burn marks. She collapses opposite young Grove.
So glad I could finally kill you. So many dreams. Now it's come true.
You died.
I made a poison that made it look like I died, just so I could have the surprise on you.
Young Grove looks at her burn marks on her face and on the back of her clothes.
These weird creatures hit me with a flaming arrow. Managed to escape.
Too weak to make it out of here.
I said I was willing to die in order to kill you.
Young Grove loses the last of his strength, breathes his last breath, and topples over into the snow.
Worth it.
Eva, with the last of her strength, starts crawling over towards young Grove. A week after leaving the Frost Point, Gabriella, Knife, Haley, Berin, and Fabana make it back to the King's stronghold. They enter the King's council room to inform him of everything that has transpired. The King and Roland are standing over a map of the realm.
My king, we've succeeded in the mission. However, there are some things you'll need to know.
There are things we need to inform you on, Gabriella. Crown Rock has asked for independence. But first, what information did the ogre have?
Have Crown Rock really asked for independence?
Yes, but please, the ogre?
Her name was Yorug.
The ogres have names?
Just like us.
Yorug was working with the Shadow Warrior. The ogres need more land and were willing to go to war for it. If they don't, then they would die. That's why the 2 previous ogre wars happened. Yorug and the Shadow Warrior planned for the ogres to have the Frost Point, an area of land that is unlivable for us. We agreed to the terms. Hopefully, this has prevented another war.
You did well. Now we have other matters that require our attention. Haley, Baron, and Fabana, you are all free to go.
Have you got any more quests for me to go on?
Why would you want more quests?
Haven't got anything else to do. Need something to keep me busy.
Oh, I would like to take part in more quests, my king.
What? Are you beginning to turn good now?
No, these just make me feel powerful.
We may have another quest soon enough. Fabana, you asked for an extra reward?
I did, my king. I have a story to tell.
Epilogue. The door to Knife's personal torture room swings open. Standing at the door is Pilgrim. Pilgrim enters the room and walks up to a glass box. The box is sealed tight to help prevent the decay of the body inside. Pilgrim opens the glass door. Holding his crystal, he casts a spell to help prevent the body from further decay. Pilgrim picks up the body of the Shadow Warrior and leaves without a trace. On an island in the middle of the wasteland lies the Altar of Death. A huge, circular monastery building that goes further down underneath the earth. Down at the lowest point is the altar itself, in front of a pool of purple liquid. Figures wearing black cloaks stand around the pool, kneeling as a man floats in the liquid, his head pointing towards the altar. This man is Odos, the leader of the altar. Pilgrim enters the altar room from a spiral staircase, carrying the body of the Shadow Warrior.
Odos, the task is complete.
Odos's blue eyes burst open. He lifts his head up, looking at Pilgrim carrying in the Shadow Warrior's corpse. Odos leaves the pool and puts on his cloak as he rushes over to Pilgrim, leaving a trail of water behind him. Odos stares at the Shadow Warrior, rushing his fingers through his long ginger hair, knowing what is to happen next.
I guess it's time.
Odos turns around to address the figures around the pool.
Followers, we are the ones who must sacrifice our lives to bring a shadow back into the world. Let's begin.
Odos turns back to Pilgrim, taking the Shadow Warrior off his shoulder, and makes his way back to the pool.
Go back to the stairwell, Pilgrim.
Shouldn't I sacrifice my life with my brothers?
That is not your role. You guided his corpse to us. You should be the one to guide him upon his return. You are the new leader for the altar. I wish you the best of luck.
Death will be pleased with your soul, Odos.
Pilgrim returns to the stairwell and watches as Odos lowers the corpse into the purple water. Odos makes his way to the front of the altar. Every figure has their hoods over their heads, hiding their identities. Odos is the only one with his hood down. Odos stands with his arms extended outwards. As he chants, the purple liquid begins to bubble around the corpse. Odos and the followers collapse to the ground, and the Shadow Warrior is brought back into the realm.